Hey students, it's Dr. Kubin. I wanted to give you some feedback on your draft of your evidence-based paper. Um, Overall, you guys did a really good job, but there were some things that I saw kind of across the board that I wanted to address with everyone. Um, First of all, you did a really good job overall with your identifying your problems, so good job with that. Some of you kind of struggled with really identifying the guidelines that you found for addressing the problem and also the innovations. So in that piece of it, kind of that's what your articles and your studies were addressing, were what the guidelines were, and then innovations for how to kind of tweak or fill in the gaps for where those guidelines weren't really addressing or fixing the problem. So think about that as you're making your revisions for your final paper, is how you can make that more clear. Other than that, the rest of it, you did a really good job outlining your articles in the tables, so that was really good. Some of you kind of struggled with summarizing those literature pieces. Um, the rest of it really has to do with APA. Remember the first assignment that we did, it was all about y'all finding articles and then really just putting those articles in a reference list. And you guys did really well with that first assignment, but then it didn't translate to this assignment very well. The use of APA kind of across the board was kind of not so good. So I'm going to attach to this announcement just a paper that's kind of gives you some very general APA tips, guidelines. So I beg of you, please read it and apply it to your final paper for sure, but also to your discussion board posts and all of your other assignments that you have in this class and all of your other classes, because you're really going to need that going forward. Things like very simple things like looking at your capitalization in your reference list. Remember that only the first word is capitalized with a couple of exceptions, so make sure that you pay attention to that. Looking at your punctuation, where you put periods, how many authors you include in your citations. Let's talk a little bit about citations, because the use of citations in your text was also a big problem that I saw. So let me give you a little golden rule here. Anytime you present factual information or new knowledge, you have to cite where you got that information from. So unless you created that knowledge, and let's face it, we're not going around creating a lot of new knowledge. Everything we talk about, we get from somewhere else. So if you're talking about the fact that we treat diabetes with insulin, we didn't create that knowledge. We got that from somewhere else. So you have to cite where you got that knowledge from. If you talk about the fact that Thomas Edison created the light bulb, where'd you get that knowledge from? You have to cite that from that it came from somewhere. You did not create that knowledge. So be very careful about citing that information throughout your paper. So please make sure that you look at the feedback that I've given you throughout the rubric. Also, when you're doing your peer critiques, these are the things that you need to be looking for so you can give some really good feedback to your peers as well. The other thing that I kind of noticed across the board was there was some really not great usage of grammar and sentence structure. So please pay some good attention to that as you're going forward and making final edits to your final draft. The library has free resources for y'all. They will help you edit. They will help you write. So if writing's not your strong suit, use them. In the Canvas shell over to the left on the menu, there's a link to the library resources. use it. You've got plenty of time between now and your final draft being due for you to use those resources with the library. So take advantage of it, guys. So that's it. We're over the hump. We're almost there. So keep up the good work, you guys. Thanks. Bye.